Hey, this is the Janus File 7B edition, and we're going to deal with a couple of other things you might see on an application. The first part is health and physical condition. They need to kind of know if you can actually do the job. If you have physical and challenges or mental challenges, they need to know this because they actually are obligated to try to accommodate you if they can. So in this first part, we have a glossary of terms you might see. Accommodate here means to make things easier and provide for. Defects include handicaps and impairments, which are problems that may keep people from doing things others can do, or that make doing them harder than it is for other people. For example, having poor eyesight. I hate the idea of being lame because I think that just talks about you can't walk, get around. Exist means that stuff that's present. Emergency means accident or sudden illness, and limit to cut down on. Limitation is same as defect, handicapped, or impairment. And last but not least, notify means to call or write. So some examples of what you might see would be in a McDonald's on a McDonald's application. You'd see physical, and it asks you any health problems or physical defects that could affect your employment. I'm just going to show an example. You would go ahead and click yes. Everybody should do that. And you need to be specific on what that is. So in this case, I just wrote for pretend I'm in a wheelchair and I need ramps for access. So this is a common issue, and I've had students like this before, and right they have the right to have a job and not be discriminated against because of this impairment. So in this case, if you have a wheelchair, are there ramps? Can you access like the cashier? Can you access the kitchen if you need to cook? Because you might be able to do everything anybody else can do. You just need help getting there to do it. From Sears, do you have any physical, mental impairment? I just put no, I do not, because most of us don't, and that's what you could write. Uh, from the Hyatt Hotels, uh, I answered the question again. Do you have any physical condition of handicap which may limit your ability to perform the job which you are applying? I clicked yes. If yes, and here's another example, I am legally blind. I can get around with accommodation. So there's people who can actually see, but they're legally blind. Doesn't mean they're fully blind. It means they're legally blind. It means they can still get around and do most regular jobs. And here it's the Hyatt Hotel. So they could probably work behind the counter with accommodations. Um, in an emergency, you need to pat down someone's. Usually, it's a wife or a mother or a relative who you could rely on if something happens to you. In this case, I just made one up. Fanny flag. I put a phone number, address, city, and a zip. That's very important because if something happens, you want to be able to get that help you need. The next part is military service. And here are the things. This is another thing you will see in an application. The reason is with military service, it might be an advantage. It's like going to college. And they want to know if you've gotten any skills and if you've committed to the military and you've been discharged appropriately, they'll probably hire you over other people. So that gives you a big advantage. So if you've been in the military, you need to make sure you state that in the application. Here you might see applicable, which can be used in civilian, which means you're not in the military, outside the military. Another term is discharge, which how you separate it from the military. They have honorable, which means you've done a great job. Dishonorable, which means you got in trouble. Medical, because of medical issues. And the rank could be private, captain, general, etc. Service related skills are skills you learned in the service. So from General Electric, I wrote, were you in the armed forces? I wrote yes. Which branch? Army, but it could be Navy, Marines. And final rank, private. From the Hyatt Hotels, I just clicked no. Have you ever served in the military? I just put no. From McDonald's, U.S. military, I wrote yes. So I did Army, the dates of entrance, dates of discharge, highest ranking. I wrote captain. Yes, do you have? And I says I can cook and peel potatoes. And the last one from Sears, I wrote Army again, the date of entrance and discharge. Highest rank, I wrote Major, and I put administration skills. So once you do that, you click Finish once you've completed the assignment, and you write your name. Always start with your name and the date, please. So 12, and this is the Janus File 7B, and D Salinas, don't forget that, at avhsd.org. and you are done. All right, good job.